welcome back. Today we're doing Path of Confusion in purple. I was gonna do Wonder, and then, but like, Amicia and Grapes came into my instance. I was like, yeah, let's play R2. And it's like, they clear really fast, and they got to the path before I told them I was gonna use it for a video, so you get this path instead. Anyways, you can kind of immediately tell that this is not the conventional build, because it's a Reaper build. I mean, that's enough, really. It's Reaper. And you're also seeing, yeah, Solar Visioner usage. If I could melee this thing, that would be great. I swear my performance in these videos isn't truly indicative of how I play normally. It's the FPS drop. You gotta believe me, guys. But it's a really weird situation where I'm actually using the scythe, because the build itself doesn't have any built-in sustain. Reaper is at least capable of applying a fair number of debuffs, so it's not all doomed. Right? You can get 2 debuffs with Hex Eater. You can get 2 Hex Eater. What am I saying? You can get 2 Hex Eater debuffs with Judgement Chain. Is that a mob? No. Oh, this is a lore chest. You can get 2 debuffs by default just because of the way that Cursed Wound and Sanguine Harvest interact. Just the beast. Okay, if I could crit once, I think I'm pretty saved. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, I forgot Io did that. We're just gonna float into the void. Right, we should be good to go. And then 1 more debuffs specifically from the Choleric Flames that I picked here. Okay, this slow falling is terrible. How am I supposed to fight? I suspect this is not the place I came in. Wait, I actually can't fight in the slow falling. I'm gonna have to like back out and roll until I can penetrate deeper into the... Okay, here's the dread one. That's fine. I have to wait for the slow falling to actually wear off so I can like crit. There we go. Look, I understand this isn't a particularly impressive first impression of the build, but it is pretty good just because it's Steadwind Pactless Reaper. You don't die that much. If I could launch my Sanguine Harvest and then use any Soul Rend at all, I would be golden. Okay, if I could Soul Rend 1 time, okay, great. I don't have a main hand shield at the moment, which is going to be a bit of a problem. Yikes. Yikes. Okay, well, once the J chain came out, it was much better for me. Right, we're back. If you don't want to have to apply slow through the... Oh. Wait, hang on. No, they're definitely coming through some... No, that's just a barrier wall. Okay. If you don't want to have to apply slow through Judgement Chain, which is on a fairly long cooldown and can only affect like 3 mobs at a time, you can also use, oh my days, Grasping Claws. I do realize this might be the most end-time crit spam melee section due to the due to the many levitation potion mobs. But I think that's just how it's gonna be. You're also gonna see me get lost. I've played purple like 2 or 3 times before this, so Path of Confusion lives up to its name. Ooh, cake. It's actually pretty surprising how often I fail a crit, at least fail according to Soul Rend, because I'm like 5 hits deep into an encounter, oh my days, and I still won't have triggered my Soul Rend yet. It's like, I'm not playing Threadreaper, man. Please just let me crit. I mean, it's kind of what happens when you play on the class with 0 mobility, with 0% speed. But Warlock was never really designed for melee until Reaper, and even then it's kind of not the most self-synergistic kit. So, what can I say? It's rough out here. I would definitely be a lot more confident in taking like bulk encounters if not for if I didn't think I was gonna get whacked by like okay, this is scary. If I didn't think I was gonna get whacked by the occasional levitation, like, you can handle a dread, you just walk into it and crit, and as long as you actually crit and don't get like frauded by 30 billion different factors, you're kind of fine. Oh, yikes. One of the downsides of playing in Confusion is that the if you walk through the path, the teleporter mechanics they're not janky per se, they're just a bit unexpected, so the mob can kind of wander into the hallway behind you. So you can teleport and the mob will be behind you and you don't really expect it at all. When I designed this build at first, it had 0 attack speed because it was a Demon Scar build. The problem with Demon Scar is that it has 10 base damage. Admittedly, it is a 1.7, but it has 10 base damage, so it was kind of going nowhere. It was mostly a matter of, can I keep critting? And it was like, yes, but I was only healing off Sanguine Harvest, and I was only ever gonna heal off of Sanguine Harvest and Soul Rend, and it just wasn't cutting it for extended encounters. And then I remembered, hey, Mr. Sustain Scythe exists, so why not give that a shot? Unfortunately, I can't really chain an elite because elites tend to be like CCI and stuff, so I can't actually do the fun thing I want to do with chain, which is a shame. Because like, the point of chain is to be able to pull the mob, but like the most important mob to chain is the elite, and well, if I can't move the elite, then what's the fungusing point? I guess I can just keep J-chaining creepers, but I'm unlikely to play in a group with this anytime soon. I do like actually contributing in groups, and this is not it. As far as contributing goes, it's a very, very silly build, but in a world where you can just kind of like kill things, directly, there's not much of a point in team content to play this kind of thing. I have never seen this room before. The joys of purple. You'll always encounter a new room every time you play. How do I get through this? Okay, I am getting out of here. In the meantime, while I try and figure out how to get to those spawners without getting my everything ripped out by the one levitation sniper, the build is also Steadfast Second Wind. Godshell offers me a very nice way to get some second wind on the build without having to compromise too much of my without having to compromise my attack damage too much, which is, you know, pretty valuable given that I don't have the space to run the usual Barker the Gateway tree. What's it gonna bring up here? Not the correct things. Oh, this is not real water. Okay, it's not that threatening. This is real water. I've been tricked. I can't believe it. I got tricked by the glass. I thought it was glass over water. It's actually glass underwater. This Arcanic Creeper is scary. Oh, it's void. This is not a challenge I was prepared for, or neither was it one I was expecting. Let's beat a hasty retreat, and we will probably just be J-chaining mobs up here, and then realizing that I've knocked them down there. I am not prepared to fight in water. I am also not prepared to fight in void, and I am kind of inclined to just light blue test to the other end of this room without killing anything. Or bridge. I think bridging is probably the more viable method. You think these are elite spawners? Well, they're not. And I still don't understand how J-Chain's thing works. I did just recall that it says in the ability description that, oh jeez, the ability description says something or other about pulling the mobs around the OG. I just watched the ceiling change color. Yeah. Yeah, okay. It says something about pulling the mobs around the original target. Oh, loot. Not too certain on that one though. Not sure if there's anything. Oh no, that's the fall room. So we're just gonna have to backtrack. Okay, I think we've arrived. Yeah, backstage. Backstage is where we need to go. Much like the last time I was in R2, yellow body test proves to be fairly useful here since speed is kind of at a premium in this region, and the absorption it offers is pretty nice as well. I know this is like a steadfast build or steadwind build and not so much a build with poise, but it remains useful because what did I click? it remains useful because this thing just comes on whenever and isn't restricted to being at like high health. So you can, like, if you're low, you might just get that random random spike of two hearts for absorption, and that can help you a lot because it will be fully steadfast boosted, and that's a lot more valuable than having 2 absorption at high health, which you would get if you drank like an absorption pot or pre-potted. Yeah, I guess if I was to sweat and I use Potion Injector for Steadwind, I would probably be best off with using absorption pots when I was tactically like really low. I don't use PI, not because I can't afford it, but I mean seriously, I think I could afford it. Like, look at that. But mostly because I just don't like it. I don't like subscription-based items. Arrows already make me feel a little bit uneasy half the time, which is kind of weird considering they're almost free. I mean, given the bug with them not dropping should be fixed either next update or this update, so not so bad. This is many creepers. Creepers are not equipped to deal with creepers at all. Oh, I don't have a shield. Yeah, okay, that happens. I know, back. I'm not gonna lie, I don't find Reaper as engaging of a class as like something like Melee Scout. It might be curse of not having a shield, but I do feel like you're a lot less capable of handling stuff, and it's more a matter of can you land one crit before the mobs swarm you too much for that to be ever a thing. Let's loot this chest before that elite walks over to us. There is some amount of skill which I appreciate in the Sanguine Harvest. Timing of Sanguine Harvest particularly, right? Like for example, look at this Dread encounter. It takes me however many hits and I don't have a shield, and even if I did, it would break it with one shot of its axe. So it's a question of when do I use Sanguine Harvest, because Sanguine Harvest is going to give me one pop of healing every time I kill something or hit or melee crit it, right? And the Dread, of course, spawns more and more Dreadlings the more damaged it is. So ideally, for the most healing, you'd want to wait as long as possible. On the other hand, if you wait too long, you're not going to have any healing, because Life Drain 1 just isn't going to cut it, especially with the anemia from Dryadic Temptation, right? So how long do you wait? Because bear in mind, you don't immediately get a heal when you Sanguine Harvest. You might have to wait a little bit so that you can kill something, so you can land a crit. That is not a block. What are these things? They're in the wall now. That's normally wouldn't be a problem, but now it kind of is because I think they can target me. So it becomes a game of when do you use your harvest. And then there is some amount of resource management in when do you J-Chain, when do you V-Bonds. But the cooldowns on those are short enough that it doesn't really matter that much. I think if it was R3 and I had Bloodletter's Blade to halve the cooldown of Sanguine Harvest, my life would be a lot easier, because then it would actually be usable like twice in an encounter, or at least like on a short enough cooldown that by the time I need it again, I get it back. Because I mean, it is a lot of healing. It's like 10% per mob. And accounting. Oh, this is just a normal phantom. I thought it was an elite. Still can't kill it though. Give me a. I'm not taking out the spawn, I can't be asked. What if I just J-chain them and then drop them off the edge? Yeah, fun there. The cooldowns are short enough that it's fine. There's a specific question of when do I use Choleric Flames on this build, which is, it's when I need extra Hex Eater damage, so it's when I'm facing off an elite or a dread. But it doesn't matter that much. It is also useful for spacing out mobs, because where'd the other guy go? Because it does knockback, so it kind of stops the swarm or thins it out a bit. I think the intended method to get through this is to avoid all the mobs down there and hop through this hole in the wall ass thing. So let's see if we can do it. That is an elite. Okay. For example, you see, I used my J-chain on absolutely the wrong thing. This is a Temple Sorcerer, which is not that big of a threat, whereas that was the elite, and I needed to have the damage for it. On the other hand, it didn't really matter because I had 2 charges. But hey, that's the end of Confusion. Died once. That was because I spaced out, didn't notice my shield was down, and then tried to use it to block a Creeper Blast. Is it good? Probably not. Bye bye.